Today, we got our hands on Creality's newest generation, Creality K2 Pro Combo 3D printer. A fully enclosed CoreXY 3D printer with a ton of automation and interesting features built in. To start things properly, let's go back in time a little bit and start with the unboxing of this unit. Unboxing these new printers have been made fairly simple. There is a QR code with the instructions on top of the box that leads you to the Creality's own wiki site that has all the guides for this printer. The printer itself seems to be packed really well, foam everywhere to keep the printer safe. From the top of the printer comes out foam with printer's accessories, different tools and stuff to get you started. Keep in mind, this thing weighs in about 25 kilograms. It's not the easiest thing to move around, but since it is starting to look like a printer now, it is time to find a place for it where we can set it up and test it out. Only the combo version of Creality K2 Pro comes with the Creality CFS, and as you can see, it is packed right inside the printer itself. Printer is advertised as print out of the box. That leaves us just to unwrap it, remove the safety clips and screws, and set the printer up. No assembly, besides the touchscreen and few wires and tubes. Top glass in place, CFS on top of it, and we can boot this thing up and do the first time setup. In the end of printer setup there is a self-check test, to make sure that everything is okay with it. The test itself is quite long, taking around 16 minutes. But thanks to the magic of video editing, we are good. The printer is ready to use. However, after some time I got a message from the printer. Completely my own fault, but still interesting to see what the troubleshoot looks like. For different errors, you get different QR codes from Creality that leads you to the Creality's wiki and teaches you what's wrong and how to get it fixed. For me, it turns out to be the CFS communication issue. In Creality's wiki, we can see why does this prompt appear, how to solve it, and what are the general troubleshooting steps. And for me, the issue was 485 connection cable not being fully in. One of the easiest troubleshooting I have ever done. Kudos. Now to the Creality's filament system, aka CFS itself. Since the Creality's CFS doesn't have a built-in active filament dryer, it has two compartments in the bottom of the CFS enclosure, where the drying bags are located. Those keep the filament dry. In front, there is a small screen where you can see the temperature inside the enclosure and also the moisture percentage. Loading the filament in is as easy as it can be, and if you have the Creality's own filament, it sends the info about the filament right to the printer via RFID. But enough of accessories and setup. Let's dive quickly into the specs and features. Creality K2 Pro has 300 by 300 by 300 mm of build volume. As a build plate, we have textured flexible PAI, something you really can't go wrong with. Net weight is about 23.7 kilograms, but add the CFS on top and the numbers get bigger. Max nozzle temperature is 300 degrees in Celsius and hot end itself is rated to 70 watts. With a flow rate of 40 square millimeters per second. Extruder is next generation direct drive with a built-in runout sensor and automatic magnetic cutter. Also under the hothead there is an AI camera that is used for printer's AI features. For example, auto flow rate calibration or preventing under or over extrusions in real time. Max heat bed temperature is 110 degrees in Celsius. And the printer also has something called Smart Auto Leveling. This speeds up the bed leveling itself by probing only where your 3D print will be. In the K2 Pro, we also get the chamber heating, max temperature of 60 degrees in Celsius. And speaking about the chamber, the exhaust fan also gets an air purifier filter. Max print speed of this machine is 600 mm per second. Max acceleration 20,000 mm per square second. 3 FOC step servo motors located at the extruder X and Y axis, giving you more consistency, accuracy and lower sound while working. Built-in RFID readers for the filaments on the side and in the CFS. Also, bonus USB port on the side. There is a 720p camera inside from which you can monitor your prints via app on the phone or via PC. It has alarm sounds, which you can hear later in the video, and a 4-inch touchscreen. Also, 32GB of storage on board. If you are interested in having a huge amount of filament connected to your printer, you can connect up to 4 CFS to it. Overall, not bad specs and features. Right now, the printer is for sale in Europe for €1,099, which is pretty good price for these specs. But what I found interesting is a comparison between the K2 Pro and his older and bigger brother K2 Plus. So let's see what is the differences between the two. The K2 Plus is the biggest of them all, that's not a surprise. But the K2 Pro has slightly lower max acceleration speed, 50 degrees Celsius lower nozzle temperature, 10 degrees Celsius lower heat bed temperature, same officially supported filaments, lower amount of fans but it seems logical given the little bit smaller size, lower resolution chamber camera, smaller screen, and somehow it comes with only 2.4 GHz Wi-Fi. There might be something that I missed, spec and feature wise, but enough is enough. Let's fire this printer up, do a few test prints, and see how it handles. First up we have a benchy boat that came pre-installed in the printer. Filament I used is Creality's own Hyper BLA. You can see the printer doing different types of calibrations, which took some time, but if it speaks in print quality, then I'm all about it. Leaving the printer door open for filming turned out to make the printer pretty noisy, but closing the door helped. Since I don't have the decibel reader, I can't give you the exact numbers. And we are done. Single color benchy took 23 minutes, and in the end of the print, you can hear the alarm sound. Not the biggest fan of the new alarm sound, but I mean, it can be helpful. But the benchy itself turned out beautifully, at least with the BLA. Few strings here and there, but it would be picking to call this out, at least in my opinion. Next off, I fired Creality Print and loaded in the 3D printer overhang test. I have heard mixed emotions about Creality Print software before, but in my opinion, they have done a great job with it, and everything seems to work very good. No complaints from me. And here is the time-lapse of this print, straight from the printer's point of view. Quality could be a little bit better, but I mean, everything is visible. After 1 hour and 43 minutes, we can see the results. I think the printer passed the test really good. On the overhang test we can see that it starts to misbehave somewhere around 80 degrees. 75 degrees seems to be still fine. Checking the other parts of the print, we can see very low rate of malfunctions and stringing as well. Basically non-existent. Since we have the CFS and 3D printer made for this, it's time to fire multicolor printing off. For this, I chose 2 sharks. Model weight itself is around 25 grams. Waste with the tower around 133 grams. In total, 158 grams. Print time around 5 hours and 50 minutes. I had all the info about the waste and everything, but when I came home, I was still a little bit shocked by the amount that had came from the shoot. And just when I got everything together, I learned that there is still more between my table and wall. Fortunately, there is a possibility to print a pin for the shoot. Maybe I should do it for the next time. But let's get back on track. The quality seems to be amazing. Checking the eye corners for black and white mix-up seems to give no results. There are shadows on the video that make it seem like there might be something, but in reality there isn't. And since I was fascinated by the amount of waste, here are the sharks swimming in it. Next and last, since it is an enclosed printer, I had the opportunity to introduce ABS to it and see how the printer likes it. Phase it is. 92 grams of ABS, print time 8 hours and 21 minutes, height 20 centimeters, so not maxing the printer out, but still should give a good example. Vase itself turned out absolutely amazing. By the time I got back home, it had already cooled down a bit and was not even stuck to the plate. No complaints in quality. No layer separation, no warping. I left this spool of filament accidentally in the car for a few hours, night before printing. And since it was cold, it might have got a little wet, but still no issues whatsoever. Really happy with the results. So what do we think about the Creality K2 Pro Combo? I think that Creality has done overall good job. Printer itself seems to be pretty solid and sturdy in terms of build quality. It has a strong frame, much thicker than any older Creality model, like K1 or K1C. K2 Pro seems to be the printer that you just turn on and do your needed job. And in case you somehow manage to find yourself in any malfunction, the troubleshooting part seemed to be really good, finding errors and their fixes without any hassle. Multicolor printing with the CFS, aka Creality's multicolor system, was simple and good, works as it should. I have had no issues with it. Only thing that bothers me is that it would have been good to see active filament dryer in there, not just anti-moisture system with drying bags. General spec-wise, I would have expected that the K2 Pro would be on the same par or even better than the older K2 Plus. It officially supports the same filaments and everything, but to see that the K2 Pro has lower nozzle and bed temps and gets only the 2.4 GHz Wi-Fi makes me a little bit confused. Don't get me wrong, these are not bad specs, but still a little downgrade. The size of K2 Pro is good, lets you do almost anything you want. And overall, I am quite happy with the K2 Pro Combo. But that's it from me now. Let me know what you think about the printer in the comments down below. If you enjoyed the video, let me know by leaving a like. Subscribe and hit the notification bell to get notified on the newest projects and reviews we have going on here on the Let's Print channel. And see you guys on the next video.